Many thanks for staying with us. We'll quickly go straight into our first talking point. Well, it's the International Day for the Girl Child. We're actually discussing their rights, and of course, it's their time and their future. I have with me in the studio, sitting very close to me, is a legal practitioner, Benedicta Obo. Good morning, Benedicta.
Good morning. Thank you.
Okay. We also have a representative from the Girls Brigade with us in the studio. She's the person of Officer Joy in Nahoro. Officer Joy, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, and from my extreme left is a legal practitioner, and of course, a member of the FIDA, Federation of Female Lawyers, which Benedicta Obo is also a member. She's a person of Barrister Bridget Okpeye. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
Let me start with Barrister Obo, the girl child. What has been their struggle?
Thank you very much for having me here. The girl child, a lot of struggles, ranging from day of birth, has to do with the issue of female circumcision, the child's early life, the girl child's early life growing up, adolescent stage, youth stage, and then up till marriage. Have issues of gender inequality, gender bias, gender discrimination. It's been a thing that the girl child has been struggling with for a long period of time. And also the issue of inheritance of property. It's said that the female child cannot inherit the property of his or her father or her mother, but that is wrong. So that's been one of the struggles. And also the issue of mental health. A lot of women, a lot of girls go through a lot mentally, physically, they are drained, but nobody listens. That's been a challenge, a great challenge. They don't get the right support that they need in terms of even education. Some persons, 1 out of 4 girls are not in school, are out of school, probably in their household, probably they are taking off to get married to one man or the other, so they can now raise children and raise a home. That's been a challenge. It's difficult. It's what the girl child has been facing right from when she's born to right to when she's now married. So those are some of the challenges that women face, the girl child face.
Okay, let's get to Officer Joy. Now, as an organization, you are of the Girls Brigade. What are some of your values? What are the values you are inculcating in the girl child?
Okay, good morning. Thank you very much. The Girls Brigade, as an organization, we trained from the Explorer from 3 years. So we believe training a girl child from 3 years down to 100 years and above.
Oh, really?
Yes, till death. That is what we do.
So my grandmom can come.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. So we believe the Girls Brigade as an organization and training the girl child, we have the spiritual aspect and the physical aspect. The spiritual aspect is teaching them about the Word of God. The physical aspect is exercise.
Okay.
Yes, exercise. And these children, you know, a girl child, when you train her from 3 years, you nurtured her till she grows, she will understand some certain things, different from the girl that was just neglected, that don't know the Word of God and the physical parts of the world. So the organization is talking about bringing the girl child, training them spiritually. Let them, first and foremost, let them know the Word of God. Because if they know the Word of God, they can differentiate their right from their left. They can know that, no, I will not do this thing. It's wrong, biblically. I cannot do this thing. They said, and we had officers that trained them. These officers are trained, and we have them to train them to make sure that they know what they are doing, to make sure that they know this is right, this is wrong. That is what we do in the organization.
Okay, we're going to get back to you, but let's come to Barrister Bridget. Obviously, you are a mother.
Yes.
Yes, and it's so clear that you have been taking care of children for a while now.
Sure.
So let's come to you. Sexual education, sex education has been something parents don't like talking about. And the girl child, they've always been victim of rape and any other sexual abuse you can think of. So how do we start teaching this girl child sexual education, sex education?
Thank you very much. You know, in our society, we have a lot of inhibitions, especially with the girl child. Like your mother would tell you when we're growing up that if you stretch out your legs and a man walk past it, they become pregnant. And so we are withdrawn, we are very frightened, and somehow we become timid one way or the other. But the time has come now for parents to take the bull by the horn. Begin to talk to your children, even from when they are small. I recall that in my own time, because my children are big now, we used to have a meeting every Tuesday.
At home?
Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
They will sit down. I'll be asking them, how are you? How was school? What do you want to become? How are you seeing? What's happening in your school? Are your friends friendly? What is your auntie like? Who is your uncle? You understand all of that. So you begin to hold meetings.
Is any guy disturbing you? You didn't have that one.
So I'm talking about when they were still very small. Yes.
Okay.
And so you start from there, and you cultivate the culture of them being your friends. Once they become your friend, they can tell you anything.
They can confide in you.
And the abuse you are talking about, the rape and defilement and all of that, you know that when you tell a child, you begin teaching by touching the parts of the body, telling the child the importance of here and there, the place that is supposed to be exposed, the one that is not supposed to be exposed. In other words, the one that is not supposed to be exposed should not be touched by anybody. Mothers make a lot of mistakes. You have your younger brother or your younger brother-in-law staying with you, and you ask him to go and bathe your girl child. How is that? Because for the girl child, only the mother or a senior female person that can do that, because we know how we bathe them, all the parts, raise her leg, clean everywhere. How do you ask a guy to go and do that? If you ask a guy to go and do that, abuse is bound, because the person will be tempted. So you have to teach the child. Once you say this part should not be touched, if anybody makes any attempt, they will tell you, my mommy said this part should not be touched. And when anything happens, they'll come back and they'll tell you. And then we have to protect the girl child from just anybody. And that's why where child labor comes in. You send a girl child, go and hug this, go and hug that. We have had situations where somebody will lure the girl child who is selling something into a corner and does something very terrible with her. So all of those ones should stop.
Okay. Let's come back now to Barrister Obo. Low self-esteem is one major factor that is rocking the female gender. They just feel, okay, he's a man, let him just have his way. He's a man, I don't need to argue. He's a man, okay, just do whatever you want. How do we not start disabusing this mentality of low self-esteem in the girl child?
Okay, the issue of low self-esteem is something that's inside. You decide if you want to let it out. First of all, the girl child has to be very confident. She has to be very, very sure of herself. She has to believe in herself. She has to tell herself that, yes, I can. If she can, then I can. The issue of low self-esteem, it has really eaten deep into a majority of the girl children. And then they tend to shy away from things. Where you should take the bull by the horn, where you should take the baton and run. You're just there shying away. You say, okay, because I'm a girl child, I can't do this. This is beyond my limit. But the truth is, there is nothing beyond the limit of the woman, of the girl child. Okay. So long as you set your mind to it, you can do it. You cannot, it's very wrong to set limitations on yourself, on the girl child. You have to tell yourself that, yes, I can. You have to be very, very confident in yourself. No one is going to give you confidence. You're going to have it in yourself, and you're going to believe it because you have it, and you can do it. Anything that you want. There are lots of girl child, those females that have set the pace. They are up there. They are running with the ball. If they can do it, everyone can do it, so long as you believe in yourself. So there are lots of potentials in the girl child, lots of opportunities. And if the girl child actually sets her mind down, she'll be able to achieve everything and even more.
Okay. Now, your group, your organization, balance physical fitness and spirituality. But we've seen cases where people who are supposed to be spiritual leaders, they are the one defiling these girls. They trust them, their parents trust them, and they leave them in their hands. And at the end of the day, they get messed up in a way. How do you now teaching girls within your zone how to now defend themselves? Because you talk about mental fitness too.
Okay, thank you very much. You see, the Girls Brigade Nigeria, I don't think we have recorded such a case as a member of
No,
the...
I'm not saying your organization is
Okay.
into it, but we have spiritual leaders.
Yes, yes. That's why we have this organization. So that if by any chance such a thing occur, the girl child can go to the officer and report that to the officer. We have discipline committee in the organization. You go to the officers, because we have each officers that control these children that you can talk to. This is your officer. We tell them, this is your officer, this is your officer. So by the time you report such, we take it from there. Yes, that is what we do.
So you don't teach them self-defense? You don't?
No.
Okay, Barrister Bridget.
Yes.
School is calm, they say. But don't you think in some cases it's important to educate the girl child? Because some parents just feel... I grew up in a family where my granddad used to say, if you train a girl child, you're wasting your school fees. Train the boy child, because by the time you invest your money on the girl child, she'll end up getting married. And the family may not benefit from whatever you've spent in her education. Now, there are people who still believe in that. They still hold on to it. What's your take on that?
It's a very wrong notion. Very, very wrong notion. Because if you train the girl child, you're actually training the whole nation. But she goes a long way to affect everybody. You train the girl child, she can become the change maker in her community. And then in becoming the change maker, you find her affecting positively the boys, the women, even the men themselves. So it is a priority. It's something that must not be toyed with. Send the girl child to school, and that is one of our campaigns. Because sometimes you find the girl child, you know, losing her opportunity to the brother, the opportunity to go to school, especially if the resources are not there. And they say, okay, make the boy go. And then even though the girl is intelligent, nobody is looking her way. At best, they marry her out to somebody without education, without skills. And your guess is as good as mine what the marriage of that kind of child will be. Because she'll have no say in her marriage. She'll have nothing to contribute. She's not empowered in any way. And when that happens, her life is truncated, as it were. So it's a priority for every parent to send the girl child to school. Hear the voice of the girl child. Respond to her askings, her questions. Because many of them, children by nature are inquisitive. It's when you shut them down that they become afraid or frightened to say anything. But if you nurture them in a way that it can be outspoken, talking about self-defense, they will know. Once somebody wants to overpower you one way or the other, you show them techniques. I'm not a judo karate person.
Show them
but, but I do know that there are ways that you can defend yourself. There's a place you will hold the male person, and he will be at your mercy.
I wouldn't want you to mention that part.
No, I'm not. I'm not mentioning.
Oh, it's okay.
I said he will be at your mercy. You know, so the girl child should have all-round education.
All-round education.
All-round
I'm very sure
education,
after this interview, I want you to show me that place so that I'll need to educate my younger ones. Let's come back now to Barrister Obo. Now, there's a way we can't... You are a legal practitioner, and there are traditions that says the girl child doesn't have inheritance in the family. So how do we now balance this when you now have a man that has all girls and the uncles are saying, no, you guys are girls, you don't have any place here? How do we balance that?
Okay, when it comes to inheritance of family property, that school of thought that a girl cannot inherit, it's very, very wrong. It's barbaric.
But it's tradition.
Yes, it's tradition, but the law has, the court has dealt with that. In 2014, there was in Nkechi and Nkechu, the court held that a female child is entitled to inheritance of the father, so long as it is proved that the girl is the child of the father or the mother. And then recently, there was another court decision, Supreme Court decision, that says that a female child can inherit her father's properties. That's the position of the law. So if circumstances arise where the female child is being neglected from inheriting our father's properties, there are legal actions to take. Yes.
Okay. Now, early marriage, Officer Joy. Early marriage is one of the issues we face. But I think in this part of the country, we are not really having that now. But in some part of the country, it has been a challenge, early marriage.
Yes.
How do we strike a balance there?
Yes, that's why we are coming out to advise our parents, especially our mothers, that they should not look at the girl child like, oh, this is a girl child, we will not train this child. Let's just give it out. After giving it out, she will not come back to the family. No. They should be allowed to go to school, education first. They should be given a proper education. There is no child who will give education that will now come back and say, at the age of 15, they say they want to give you out to this man. You will say, no, I want to finish my school. I need to go to school. The teacher said education first. So I don't see it right. Parents giving out to their children, especially the girl child, early in marriage, is very wrong. They need to know their right from their left through education. They need to know that, no, this is wrong. And the only way they can do that is when they are educated. So parents should not give their girl child out in early marriage. It's very wrong.
Okay. Now, what are we doing now, Barrister Bridget, at FIDA? You are the publicity secretary?
Yes,
Okay,
assistant
you are the
publicity
assistant publicity secretary. So what are you putting in place to protect the rights of the girl child?
Well, to protect the rights of the girl child, first and foremost, they have to know what their rights are, so that when it's being violated, they will also understand. So, like today, the celebration of the International Day of the Girl Child, by 12 noon, we'll have some students from different secondary schools in the states, private and public, and we have resource persons to come speak with them, to tell them their rights and how their rights can be protected.
Okay.
But we have clinics every day in FIDA House, where they can come to make their complaints, and we take it all from there.
Okay, you have clinics every day. So
Yes.
let's come back now to Barrister Obo. As we begin to wrap up now, final word for the girl child before we let you guys go.
Okay, what I have to say to the girl child is be confident, know yourself. You have to first discover yourself before you can help people. You have to discover yourself first, realize the potentials that you carry. It doesn't matter, gender doesn't matter, you know, it's so long as you're a human being, so long as you have confidence in yourself, you believe in yourself, you discover your purpose, walk in that line, and then have the belief, have your mentors that you look up to, that you know, okay, I want to be like this person, I want to be better than this person. So be confident, believe in yourself, do the right thing all the time.
Okay, well, we'll be taking that as our final take on the show. On this segment, do the right thing, gender is a thing of the mind. We'll be taking a short pause now. Philip up next for the next segment. Don't go nowhere.